What's going on? Hey everyone. So today was another big learning day. I thought the emails on Sunday and then the phone call with Kelly Lockwood last night gave me everything I needed to know. You know, it's almost like I'm going in to buy a car and I get to speak to a mechanic and someone who built the car beforehand, but not really. So I went into ProSkate today. I had talked to Daryl a couple of days ago and I ended up spending a lot of time with Sean today. I actually spent 2 hours at ProSkate, the West location in Edmonton today, learning more about the skate process, the fitting process itself, learning more about my own skates. The knowledge that I've learned the last couple of days from Kelly, I was able to be on a higher level of understanding with Sean, but I still learned quite a bit today. And so I'm out here, you can notice, obviously fog for my breath, it's cold, but the lights are not all over the place. So it's not as cold as the other night, but it feels colder. It's a little bit of wind. I didn't last very long tonight. But the next couple of days are supposed to be amazing. Tomorrow is exciting. I'm going to be on CTV in the morning, television, CBC radio in the afternoon, and then there's another spot at some point during the day as well promoting the event. But anyway, today was all about skate fittings, skate sharpenings, and so what I went in, before anything, they got me to stand on my skates, balance on them, rock back and forth, stand on one leg, stand on the other leg, just to check the alignment. And it turns out that, you know, these are custom skates that I was given, brand new that had never been worn, but were made for probably an NHL player. And the alignment was off on them. So everyone has a little bit of a different alignment depending on their muscles, depending on their balance, their core, their weight, everything like that. And so that was one of the first things they did, was change the alignment. And they did that before they really did anything to the blade at all, other than the contour. And so based on my talks with Kelly, she recommended a 13-foot contour. So that sounds crazy on a hockey skate. You think 13 feet, how can that be possible? But if you imagine that it's a 13-foot radius. So imagine the blade, instead of being, a straight line or just, a couple of feet long, is actually a full circle. So if it was an entire circle, then that 13-foot radius would go from the middle of the circle to the edge of the circle, right? That's what radius is. Diameter would be 2 times that. And so the flatter the blade, the higher the radius of contour. And so a 13-foot contour means that more the blade is on the ice. What that actually translates to is more speed. Because you have more the blade on the ice, you get more power when you're pushing, and you get more glide as well, because there's more the blade is on the ice. So that's something I learned from Kelly, which going into it was great knowledge. Apparently my skates were a 10. Standard is a 9. Some graph skates come standard with 11. So anyway, I had it 3 feet, and he actually ground it down a little bit. So he gave me a 13-foot and then grounded it down a little bit, so it's more like a 14, closer to a 15. And I tried it tonight, and it feels fantastic. But based on what Kelly was saying, I'm almost relearning how to skate. So it's not about short strides the whole time, just like a sprinter. So you want to have short strides until you're up to speed, and then extend that and start gliding. So it's all about the recoil. So you want to have that nice long stride, that nice long push, but you don't want to be gliding for so long that you start to slow down, right? And so that recoil, you need to go again and again and again, just get that maximum push every time. So I've had to actually stop myself a few times because I want to keep that short strides. I'm used to that from hockey. But because it's such a long skate, when I settle down and I get up to speed and I start gliding, I'm starting to see the power coming from it. And so it's pretty cool. I have, 2 days left of training, so I'm not worried at all. I adjust it very, very well to the skates. And then the radius of hollow. So the hollow refers to, so if you have the blade standing straight up and down, it's not flat across. It's actually like a inverse U. I'll put an image on the screen so you can see what that's like. And so the deeper the hollow, the deeper it's going to cut into the ice. So the more bite there's going to be. But because when you're skating, it's actually melting the ice, the deeper it is, the more water it's going through. And you're not gliding so much because there's a lot more friction. So for maximum speed, you want to have a shallow hollow, but that also affects your agility. And so a speed skater has a really, really shallow hollow, right? It's essentially flat. So they can't turn, they can't really stop at all, but they're meant for straightforward speed. And so for me, I want to have that speed, but I also want to have the agility, right? Because when I'm throwing it, I have to be turning sideways, throwing and releasing. I need some agility there. And then at the end, if I have to adjust where the throw is going, I need some agility as well. So that's why they were kind of playing around with it. So my hollow is what did they say it was? 3/4 inch hollow. Right, so it's close to an inch. So again, the same thing. Refers to the radius. And so the larger the number, the flatter it's going to be. So some NHL hockey players have an inch or even over an inch, but you're going to sacrifice agility with that. And so out here, 3/4 inch gives me great speed, good glide, and I still have some agility. So thank you, Sean and Daryl at Pro Skate Edmonton, the West location, for taking care of me today. It was a huge learning experience, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys again. I'm extremely passionate about the right information being out there, the best information being in people's hands so they can make the best decision possible. If we're not giving them that information, if they don't have that information, that knowledge available to them, they're going to make a decision based on the limited knowledge that they do have. And so people like Kelly, people like Sean, people like Daryl, right? They're not really online. They're not really promoting themselves on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. They're not pushing things out. If you go into the store, you're going to get a ton of knowledge. If you email them or talk to them on the phone, you're going to get a lot of knowledge. Okay, but it's very centralized in that space. And so I really want to help them get that out there. Again, maybe I'm not the right guy, you know, but who knows? If I can help even a little bit, if I can even help a couple hockey players realize that there's a lot more to what they're skating on, right? If you don't understand what your skates are doing, that's a problem. You can become faster, and all you have to do is just change how your skates are sharpened and the profile of your skates. That's it. Take some time to go in, right? Get them checked out, get your alignment checked out, but your body will thank you because you won't be as tired, you won't be as fatigued. Your speed will thank you, you'll be much faster. Okay, and your teammates will thank you because you'll be a more valuable asset to your team. But just, again, something to think about, right? When I've done world records in the past, all I've really had to worry about was the Frisbee, the wind. With Davey, he adds a different element to it, obviously. But being on ice, I kind of took it for granted. You know, I've been skating since I could walk. And I thought, oh, I got the skating down. I don't need to really think about it or work on it. Wow. It's a good thing I got over that very quickly. And the last couple of days happened because I'm now at a much higher level of understanding, of confidence. My skating is now more closely matched to my throwing. So I'm not going to be limited by my ability to get to the disc. So some of those big throws that I've had in the past where I wasn't able to get to them, I'm confident I can get there now. So again, just be curious. I think that's what it comes down to. My grandmother, who passed away last year, was like 89 years old, and I remember I asked her one time what her secret to life, to living a long life was, and she said, just be curious. And that's really what has driven me for so long, is just being absolutely curious. If you ever ask my friends or my family, they'll say that I ask a lot of dumb questions, but curiosity comes down to just asking sometimes those little questions, like if somebody would have asked me, how do you sharpen your skates? Right? And I would have said, well, I go to them and I say, I want it to be fast, here you go. Unless you talk about the contour, unless you talk about the different things like that, they're not just going to tell you to do it, because it takes some adjustment. But I like that I'm able to understand that now, and I really want to have other people thinking about those kind of things as well. No matter what you're doing, whether you're skating, whether you're throwing frisbees, whether you're playing baseball, whether you're playing basketball, playing golf, think about the golf clubs, right? You may be working really, really hard, but if your clubs aren't working for you in golf, for example, it's going to limit your game. So just a lot of little things to think about. Like I said, tomorrow's going to be a very busy day with a lot of news. As far as I know, 3 different pieces tomorrow. And I did a story last week in Calgary for Shaw TV. It's actually the last show for Shaw Go, which is a local news story, I guess. They do local stories on people in Calgary. And that's the last one ever. So I was very lucky to get in. So thanks to my friend Sarah for that. And that's going to be starting to air on Shaw in Calgary on their local station tomorrow, on Thursday, for the next 4 or 5 days. So when I get a link for that, I'll post that on Facebook and share that around. And it's myself and Laïs reading the book to kids in grade 1, with Davey being there sleeping and just being cute. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we'll talk soon.